declared me dead for choosing my dream over their business. But what happened when Forbes named me to their 30 under 30 list? 8 years ago, I was 19, telling my parents I was dropping out of Northwestern to build a startup. My dad slammed the table so hard his chair flew back and screamed, "Mackenzie Reed is dead to this family." My mom never looked up. My brother laughed. Good, one less person stealing the Wi-Fi. My aunt said, "You just burned every bridge to your inheritance." I stood there, soaked from rain, waiting for someone to say she's still our daughter. Nobody did. Then Grandma pulled me aside, pressed $500 in my hand and whispered, "Go make them eat those words." That was the last thing anyone said to me for 8 years. I took an Amtrak to California, stepped off with $41 left, worked 3 jobs, 5 a.m. barista, noon DoorDash, 8 a.m. office cleaner, at instant noodles 3 times a day, showered at gyms with free trials, learned to code at libraries, lived with 5 people in 180 square feet on a mattress that smelled like takeout. Nights at 3 a.m., I almost went home. Every time, I pulled out Grandma's note and kept coding. Built my app on a cracked 2015 MacBook for $200, launched with zero budget. Users grew from dozens to hundreds to thousands. For 8 years, Grandma called monthly from a burner phone she kept in her Bible, never asking for money, just saying she was proud. 9 months ago, Grandma called late, said Reed & Sons was $14.2 million in debt, banks seizing everything. She said, "I thought you should know before it hits the papers." That night, I set up a Delaware LLC, bought every loan, every lien, every mortgage. Over 9 months, they never knew the buyer was me. Then Forbes dropped their 30 under 30 list. My name at the top. The article called me the dropout who built an empire out of spite. Company valued at $128 million. 6 hours later, Mom texted, "Christmas Eve dinner, 6:30, important discussion." I knew that meant they needed money. I flew to Chicago, rented a black Mercedes because I wanted them to see it. Walked in Christmas Eve. Mom hugged me, smelling like Chanel and Nerves. Dad eyed the car. Brother stayed on phone. Aunt checked my Hermes bag. Grandma held me tight, whispered, "You did it, kid. Every damn thing they said you couldn't." We sat for dinner. Same menu they served every year. Honey glazed ham, mashed potatoes. Then Dad set his glass down hard. Reed & Sons is losing everything. Aunt said, "We need 2.8 million. Final notices came Thursday." Mom sobbed, "42 years, gone." Brother said, "Just write the check. It's nothing to you." They all stared. Dad said, "We're so proud." Aunt said, "You'd be the hero." Mom grabbed my hand. "Please, this could heal everything." Grandma squeezed my hand under the table. I looked around. 8 years of nothing. 8 years of being dead. Now suddenly, I was sweetheart. I said, 2.8 million. Interesting timing. The door burst open. My lawyer, Sawyer Brooks, walked in carrying a briefcase, set it dead center on the table, snapped it open. 9 months ago, every dollar of Reed & Sons debt, 2 million across 7 facilities, was purchased by a Delaware LLC, 100% owned by Mackenzie Reed. He laid out documents, assignment of notes, mortgages on all 11 stores, the warehouse, this house. Personal guarantees signed by everyone here, now payable to my company. Mom's wine glass shattered on the floor. Dad screamed, "This is blackmail." Lawyer said calmly, "Blackmail is a crime. This is ownership. As of 6:52 tonight, you're in material default. Entire 14. 2 million immediately due. Foreclosure begins tomorrow morning." Mom went limp, slid out of her chair. Aunt screamed, "You set us up, you evil." Dad was shaking, veins bulging. I let the silence stretch. Unbearable. Then pulled out one slim folder. Cashier's check for $350,000 and a release form. "That check is yours the instant you sign," I said. "You permanently release every claim to Reed & Sons. Walk away tonight with $350,000. Enough for a condo, 2 cars, a quiet life. Refuse, and foreclosure starts 9 a.m. tomorrow. Your decision." Grandma picked up the pen first, wrote her name in beautiful cursive, then smiled the calmest, most radiant smile I'd ever seen. That smile destroyed them. Aunt signed, hand shaking so bad through the pen. "I hope every dollar burns you." Brother signed, tears streaming, called me psycho. Mom, ghost pale, mascara running, signed in the same cursive she used on my permission slips. Dad stared at it a full minute, finally carved his name in big dark lines. Lawyer verified everything. Debt satisfied, foreclosure permanently terminated. I stood. Grandma linked her arm through mine. I looked at each of them one last time, then said softly, "Merry Christmas," and walked out. 6 months later, Grandma passed peacefully in her sleep. Mansion sold at auction for 4.9 million. Parents divorced. Dad moved to a 1-bedroom rental. Mom took half the check, disappeared to Florida. Aunt lost her real estate license. Sells handbags on commission. Brother got fired. Drives Uber Eats in the same black hoodie from that night. I kept Reed & Sons, rebranded it Reed Financial Collective, turned profitable in 9 months. Employees who stayed got raises and equity. Worth 128 million today. Every Christmas Eve, I drive to Grandma's grave with 2 mugs of cocoa spiked with peppermint schnapps, sit in the snow, and tell her they finally ate every single word.